How's it going? Ryan here, and I'm going to review a few trades that I took today on SPY. As you can see, we have broken out of this upward channel on the daily, and we had a gap down and a downtrending day. So after a few painstaking days of chop, the past 3 days or so, we got another trend today. Funny enough, I didn't really play the trend too much. The move that I really wanted to happen happened after I got off. So I took a small position from my phone, but I was not at my computer at that time. So the trade was a very quick scalp, and I got in and out of it because I was hesitant trading from my phone. I didn't really want to hold when I had other obligations such as work and things, and I couldn't manage my position as I'd like to. So without further ado, we'll get into it. So as I mentioned earlier, and you can see here, we were in this wedge that's been forming, or kind of this rising channel essentially, for the past however many weeks, and we've broken out of that. So we opened below that area, gap down, and never really pushed up at all. Pretty much a downtrending day. We look at the hourly here. I'll look at some of the levels that I was watching. So we have the high of yesterday's trading session in green, the low of yesterday's trading session in red. We have some levels here that I marked on the hourly, and I'll dive into those. And then we have that channel that we were in. So one area that I was looking at was this area that we had both bounced off of and rejected off of in the pre-market, which was this 454.52. You can see the price action that we had around this area. It was either a point of support, some consolidation, a big drop, resistance, came up resistance again. So that was an area of supply that I was watching as we were opening up below that. Also, we had the pre-market low, and you can see that was a pretty drastic swing from that low. So I marked that low as well as the demand area in that. And then I marked this swing low that we had earlier in the after hours from yesterday, where you can see once again kind of a similar situation as to here. We dropped down and reversed pretty quickly off that point. So those were the levels I'd plotted. Also had this 450 that I was looking at as a potential point to target, excuse me, if we broke below the pre-market high, or excuse me, the pre-market low. So we had this pre-market low here, and it coincided to match up with some of these drastic swings in price here. You can tell it was a big point of resistance here. Once we broke above it, we had some big bounces off this area acting as support. And then we had a big bounce off this area of support in the pre-market. So as we started selling off today, I was looking for a potential break through this area. And if we did, continuing down, in the next level I was looking at was this 450. I also got that level off of the hourly chart, as well as it being just a whole psych number. So you can kind of see how 450's played out in previous days. In terms of looking for support between here and the next area is kind of the clear area. Maybe you could justify maybe this like 451. But that's what I was looking for in the day. We were selling off. We were opening on a gap down. I wanted to let the first few candles play out and see kind of what direction we chose. In the very beginning of the day, we actually experienced a little bit of chop, and I was starting to feel a bit worried about today. I didn't want it to be another day of chop. So you can see that zone up here that I have marked, the pre-market low, and then this was an intraday level that was our first swing low. We'll kind of talk about how all these came into play. So this swing low that I marked, this kind of intermediate area, happened to be the high of the day, the point that we rejected off. Pretty much right off the open. I didn't take a trade here. It would have been great if you took a trade there and held. But what I was looking for is a test of this area. And then if we failed to break above it, I would look to enter on a retest. We never quite made it back up that area, so I never took a trade here. but it is pretty spot on to where that level is that we bounced off of. From there, we started chopping around a bit, and then we started to sell off. And once we sold off into this area, that was the first trade that I took and that I was looking for, is a potential bounce in this area supply. In previous days, we'd have large price swings coming out of this area. In the pre-market, we had a large price swing coming out of this area. So I wanted to see us come down, fail to break below it, and I was going to get in for a short scalp. I acknowledged that this was counter to the trend. We were in a downtrend. But this was also a big area that I saw that we needed to break to continue trending down. So I got in on this candle here. We came down, we tested this area. We closed right into it. So I'm gonna zoom in so we can see this a little bit better, but we closed in it with this candle. I entered on this next candle as we were pushing down and kind of failing to break. We'd push down and get pushed back up, push down, push back up. So I entered here, and that was enough of a confirmation that we were getting sort of the buyers stepping in along with the rising volume that you see here. As we coming down into this area, we have price kind of consolidate a little bit, and you see these big bars coming into this area. Once we get in here, volume shoots up and the candle itself shrinks. So we have, we see a tug of war essentially happening between price action and volume. So I got in a call here. I got in at a 452 call because we were just below 452, and my target was the previous low of day, so right here. That played out absolutely perfect. So I got in. I could have been a bit more patient. I got in somewhere around 452, so somewhere up in here. You can't always time it perfectly, but there was an opportunity to get the contracts much cheaper. They really swung in price when we dipped down in this area. So entry could have been better, but overall execution worked out pretty much perfectly. We pushed up as we retested this low of day. I sold my put. Now, with it being a downtrend, this low of day and then a retest after we broke through would be pretty much a textbook trade to take in terms of a put. But the reason I did not is because we had this support zone that had been proven to be so difficult to break in previous trading sessions. So I didn't really like the risk to reward of taking a put here for the supply that we have directly below it. But that would have been an excellent play if you look at how that worked out as well, especially kind of with this double top. We came up, tested it, came up, tested that area again, and dropped. So that was a great trade if you took it. I didn't, because I didn't feel comfortable taking it with this supply area. I didn't know how we would react. I wasn't sure if we would consolidate and reverse. So I played this a little safer. I took the bounce and sold right at the top. So that worked out great. That was a small win. Contract didn't move as I expected it to. I thought getting it below 452, having it move into the money and kind of push up, especially after this downtrend, I thought the price would swing a little bit more than it did. I think I had what did I have? I think a $14 gain off that. And I sold it at the very top. So the price did not move very well as I was expecting. And that was, 452 call for tomorrow's expiration. So then we sold off through this area. As you can see, we're getting close to 9 o'clock during this sell-off. It was about 8:40, 8:50. Right in this area is when I walked away because I had to go to work. But what I really wanted, what I really wanted, was to see us break this area in a convincing break, which we see here. You see volume rising. It's like a ladder, just stepping up as we break and sell through that area. So that was textbook. I wanted to see strong price action, strong volume, showing that we had broken through that area of support. And I said that I would love to take puts on a retest of that area. We got that later in the day. It's about 9:30. So I did take a small put on this candle. I was working. I traded off my phone, but I was in and out of this trade extremely fast. We came up, tested this area. I saw us push down. I got in on this candle. It was not a trade I should have taken. I mean, it worked out, and that was pretty much essentially what I was looking for. But I didn't like the fact that I was trading after when I usually call it quits. I'd already had a small win on the day, so I was risking a bit more. I took 451 puts somewhere in this candle. And pretty much as soon as we came down and broke 451, I got some nice move in that, and I sold. So I sold about right here. I got in somewhere up in here and sold right here. Super quick scalp. So that didn't add much to my overall profit. I think I'm up $22 on the day, so $7 or so in profit on that move. I wish, you can always say 20/20 hindsight, but I wish I would have been able to take this full trade. As you see, we came down and hit that exact level at 450, got a bit of a double bottom, and then reversed and went up from there. But that would have been a textbook trade. Red all the way down, no reason to sell throughout this, so you could have gotten almost a $2 swing off that. That would have been beautiful, but I did not catch that full move. So those are the 2 trades I took today. I broke my trend of red days. I had a profitable trade. I took 2 trades, both of them were winners, so that feels pretty good. It feels good to have a trending day. It feels good to be on the right side of things and have your trades pretty much execute perfectly. Funny enough that my biggest winner was a bounce counter to the trend. But with that being said, entries could have been better. I could have held this, you could say, but I wasn't at my computer. I didn't feel comfortable. I couldn't pay full attention to it, so I just cut it once I was in profit. But beautiful price action. Respected the levels that I had pretty much perfect. We had this pre-market level. That was the high of the day. We rejected off there. Had this supply and support zone, this demand and support area. Bounced off that, came up, retested the swing low that I had, came down, broke up, came up and retested this area again for puts down to the final level that I had, 450. It's textbook. It was beautiful. Price action, volume, just everything. So a good day to be had after the past few days of chop that have been pretty difficult for me to trade. So with that being said, I trade Monday through Friday. Although this week is a bit of an anomaly. I will be going on vacation, so Friday I will not be streaming or posting a video. I will stream tomorrow morning. I won't have time to post a video tomorrow, a recap. I may attempt to stream and post next week, but I am on vacation all of next week. And I don't have a laptop at the minute, so I'm looking into potentially getting one. But long story short, I might be out next week, but I'll be back tomorrow. And that is it. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by, and hope you have a good day. Peace.